Hey everyone, this is Witcher the Wizard coming to you again for your weekly Twin Flames, the Twin Within energy reports. As you all know by now, I focus on coming into union with your inner twin, which I believe is your only true twin. Everything else is just a reflection of that, helping to guide you back within yourself to come into union with that shadow side of yourself and become a whole again. So we're already complete, but the point is to become whole again. So we're complete, but there are parts of us that are separated from ourselves. We call that the shadow side of us. The shadow side of us isn't good or bad. I know that we have all these connotations about shadow and darkness and all of that. The shadow literally means the part that we're not seeing. And I don't even know if it means the part that we can't see. That's kind of our blind spot. It's literally just the part that we don't want to shine a light on for one reason or another, for lots of different reasons throughout our life. Bits and pieces of us become disassociated from us and get relegated to our shadow self, our shadow side. And so the idea of coming into union with your twin is literally coming into union with the parts of you that have become your shadow self, that have become disowned, disassociated, disabused from who we are. And in that sense, that's why we're always looking outside of ourselves for the thing that's going to fulfill us. When in reality, there's nothing outside of us that's going to fulfill us. We have to seek fulfillment from within. And once we find that fulfillment from within, all of the things that are outside of us, all of this external stuff of this beautiful, amazing world will become truly enjoyable. And by truly enjoyable, I mean you'll be able to appreciate all of these things, all the external things, the external world, without agenda, without some personal agenda of yours trying to get something that you can only get from within yourself, right? So when you get to that point where you can truly just appreciate the external world without an agenda, which is also called unconditional love, you'll be in that state of bliss where you're fully realized as yourself, but just having the ability to enjoy the crap out of your life and everything around you. Even the stuff that's like bothersome, which normally trigger the crap out of you prior to really becoming whole again. And once you get to that state, it can still be bothersome, excuse me, but in an amusing way, right? Because I think life is all about the push-pull. There's always, life is always better when you have some resistance. So you can call it resistance, you can call it a challenge. People love challenges. That's why we play games. All kinds of games, word games, puzzle games, sports, whatever. They create challenges for ourselves. And then we get to go out and meet that resistance, meet those triggers, aka challenges, and have fun overcoming them. And that's really what life's all about. And except that the bigger your shadow self is, the greater that shadow self is, the more of you that you have disassociated from yourself and relegated to the shadow side, the less fun it becomes. And you get caught in fear mostly. I mean, fear just shows up in a panoply of different emotions. Anger, frustration, bitterness, hoarding. People are billionaires because of fear. They're hoarding that money because of fear. And people who are really wealthy, but they have no problems spending that money, sending it out to the rest of the world, recirculating it back into the global economy, they're not in fear. So having being really wealthy isn't a bad thing. Being really wealthy and hoarding all your money is a bad thing for everybody, for you, for everyone, and it's out of fear. It's like you're afraid that you've got that money and you don't ever want to lose it because you don't know if you'll get it again, and that's not understanding how abundance works. And so when we're really unified in ourselves, we don't worry about. We don't hoard things. We let things go. We let things come in and we let them go. We let people come in and we let them go because we realize that um, having people go in and out of our lives doesn't make us any less than what we already are. And allowing people and things and situations to come in and out of our lives and our lives to be fluid and changing, if we are truly in that sense of abundance and that as things move out of our lives, new things will move into our lives, and we'll never have to worry. We'll never worry about being broke. We'll never worry about going hungry. We'll never worry about being lonely because you realize that you're surrounded by all of this wealth, that you're literally surrounded by wealth. And again, I've said this before, but I love this quote. It's not my quote. I don't know who it came from, but there's this great quote that says, poverty is when you stop looking for the abundance that surrounds you. And I believe that to be incredibly true. So with that, we'll move on to the reading. I pull one tarot card for the feminine energy, one tarot card for the masculine energy, and then I pull an oracle card to glue them together, to bring it all together. So I always start with the feminine energy because the feminine energy is the starting point. It's the everything. It's where everything comes from. It's the foundation of all. And so we start with the feminine energy. And I'm pretty sure we got this last week. And I think, haven't gone back, but I think it was actually in the feminine energy spot. But maybe it was turned upside down. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at that. But it is in this deck, which is Corrine Kenner's the Wizard's Tarot, which I love. It's called the Alchemist. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's called Temperance. And so it's the angel that's standing 1 foot on land, 1 foot in water. And she's pouring 2 cups together. She's mixing. And it's literally the idea of alchemy, of bringing all the various parts of you and mixing them together. Which is what we're trying to do when we're on our path. We're trying to take the parts of us that we acknowledge and love and blend them together with the parts of us that we don't acknowledge and don't love. And bring that together and become whole again and lead an amazing life. So I don't really know if I have a whole lot to say about that. Because I said a lot about that last week, about the importance of really blending those different parts of you together. And I use a lot of, examples from my life because that's what I know. So I'll just kind of say it again. My life journey has been that as I came into this world as a man with an incredibly strong connection to my feminine energy. My feminine energy is dominant. And it's still difficult for me to say that because I have a lot of strong masculine energy. And there's a part of me, because of our world and how it is, that when I say that my feminine energy is dominant, somehow it makes me feel less of a man, which that's just not true. So my life journey, a big part of it, has been to really disown the feminine side of myself, much to my detriment, and then realizing how detrimental that was to me in all ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. And in realizing that, working to really come back in to embrace that side of myself. And not only embrace it, but allow it to be the leading energy. I'll call it the leading energy because that sounds less negative. Dominant, dominant sounds negative, but we'll call it my leading, it's my leading energy. It's my, like you have your favorite hand, you're right-handed or left-handed. What's your leading foot? Put your best foot forward. Well, my best foot happens to be my feminine foot. So I'm starting to allow myself to put my best foot forward, and I'm seeing the benefits of that, and that my life is really starting to come together a lot more. I'm feeling more like myself. I'm feeling more sure of myself. All kinds of great synchronicities are happening because of that. Just really positive changes in my life. Because I'm not only embracing the feminine energy, I'm allowing it to be what I came into this world to be, which is the lead. It's my best foot forward. So, and that's in everything. We need balance in everything. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine who has really strong placements in Libra, and I've never really read up a lot about the Libra energy, but the Libra energy is all about balance. And we all know that even if you're strong in one area of your life, having that balance. So we live in a world of duality. So duality isn't everything, because we all know that eventually, as you rise up above the material plane, duality falls away, and you just get to oneness. So kind of duality it's just how this virtual reality that we live in was created. You have to have distinction in order to have a tree versus a bush. You have to have duality. You have to have distinction, limitations, right? Hot, cold, light, dark, all that kind of stuff. So duality is just, it's different ends on the same spectrum. And so, in all areas of your life, look and see where maybe you need a little bit more balance in your life. I'm really good at being creative. But and thinking about spiritual things, but I don't always like to think about the everyday earthly things. But we're here on Earth to be earthly creatures, and so we have to, no matter how good I am at sort of living in that world of spirituality, I have to take care of my daily life. My earthly life. I'm here. That's why I'm here. So just, apply that to everything in your life, look to where you could get a little bit more balance, and realize that it's not a bad thing. It's just par for the course. It's what we're here to do. It's, to achieve that balance. It doesn't mean you have to be perfectly balanced, but getting a little bit more balance, getting a little bit closer to that middle point is always helpful. So that is the feminine energy again this week. But I think turned right side up. So I believe that we're making progress as the energies are, moving us out of Gemini season and into Cancer season. Which is interesting because Gemini is, it's the dual head. It's the twins, and that's kind of a card of, it's a sign of balance as well in a different way. But coming together into Cancer, and the card for Cancer is the Chariot card. And so the Chariot card is important because you have this person, it's also the Merkaba. The Merkaba is the light body. It's Egyptian for the light body. But in the Chariot, you have a black sphinx and a white sphinx. And those literally represent your masculine and feminine energies. And the only way that Chariot is going to move anywhere is if those two are in balance and harmony with each other, and working in sync with each other to move you forward, or to move you up. Forward, up. I like to think up. It's a little less linear that way. But so yeah, work on bringing yourself into balance. Continue working on that. And that's the feminine energy. So the masculine energy is really interesting. It is the King of Wands in reverse. So the King of Wands the way in the tarot deck, the way that the king and the queen correspond to each other is that the queen is the self. It's the internal. And so the Queen of Wands refers to really going inward and mastering your inward energies, or taking those energies and applying them inwardly, right? So in this case, the fire represents your sexual energy. And by sexual, I don't mean sex or having sex. We call it sexual energy because we've just been unaware enough to know that it's actually spiritual energy. It's spiritual energy, it's life force energy, it's creative energy, it's passionate energy, it's ecstatic energy, it's the rapturous energy. It is the energy that when you are in alignment with that energy, you feel ecstatic, you feel joyful, you feel rapturous, you feel, like you're just bursting with life and creativity. And it's that energy that makes you jump out of bed because you're so excited about whatever it is you're going to do during the day. You're just literally bouncing around. That's that energy, because it comes into us through the sacral chakra, which is associated with the genitals. If you're not aware of what that energy really is, you get stuck on the fact that it's sexual energy. But it's much, much more than that, right? So it's your creative energy. It's your making it happen energy. And so the King of Wands in reverse, usually what the King of Wands upright represents is the sort of mastery of taking that energy that you have and putting it into action externally. So projecting it out into the world. And maybe that's what we need to do. It's telling us that, we're not quite there yet, although we are, I think, either in Mercury in retrograde or coming up on it. So I'm not really sure. I'm kind of like, part of me feels like we need to work on taking that creative energy inside of us and projecting it out more. Yeah, I'm going to go with that because that feels right. That, as we're bringing all of these parts of us into balance, that's great, except you still need to project that outwardly into the world to mean anything. You can't sit on your couch and live in dream world and live your life. You can. I've done it. It's incredibly depressing because there's a part of you that realizes that you have all of this opportunity, and every single one of us has is put here on this earth to connect with your inner joy and project it out into the world. And let everybody know, hey, here's who I am, and this is what I love. And when you do that without fear of rejection and abandonment, when you can do that, when you can really just say, hey, here's who I am, for anybody who's interested, then you will be surprised at how many people actually say, wow, I'm really interested in that. And how your life will just start to fall into place. When you really allow yourself to be who you truly are and project it out to the rest of the world, the people who should not be in your life will leave your life. And the people who should be in your life will just start coming out of the woodwork and appearing in your life and saying, wow, I'm like super curious about you. I'm really interested in you. I want to know more about you, because you're literally providing something to the world that they've been looking for. And if you don't do that, if you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable and open and authentic about who you are, then those people will continue to look for you and not find you because you just, we haven't made it happen. So the King of Wands is in reverse. Yeah, I'm really feeling it's like, okay, we're doing all this work. This card is flipped from upside down last week to right side up this week. We're integrating those parts of ourselves, which is awesome. That's a huge step forward. There's a lot of people in this world that live and die their whole lives and never get to that point. So bravo for all of you who are doing that. And now it's time to really just get that fire energy, that yellow energy, that solar plexus energy, and be brave, be vulnerable, and just let the world know, hey, this is me. Here I am. And just see what happens, because some magical stuff is going to happen, I promise you. So, all right, that's the masculine energy. It's saying, hey, masculine energy is flowing out of you. Time to let it out. Time to let the lion go. So here's our oracle card, and it is coming apart. I don't know if I've even gotten that card before. Coming apart. All right, so let me read that for you. I love these cards. It's the Enchanted Map series by Colette Baron-Reid. I love it for this journey that we're all on, because everyone needs a map. By the way, if you've never gotten your astrological chart done, do so. I had mine done, and it's providing, it's just really provided a map for me. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this explains so much about my past. And as I begin to learn how to read it better and understand all the different symbols and how they relate to each other, it's really given me a map to go forward. And in fact, I've taken some courses recently on how to do Vedic charts. So there's two kinds of charts. So we call them Western or Vedic. The other term for them is tropical or sidereal. And so tropical is Western, sidereal is Vedic. The way that they differ is basically tropical is how the stars are in the sky in relationship to the sun, which the sun never changes. And then sidereal is how the stars and constellations are in relationship to the sky above us, overhead. And since we have the precession of the Earth's poles, which is how we get that. It's that 26,000 year cycle. It's not quite 26,000 years, but pretty close. And that 26,000 year cycle, where every 2,000 years we move into a different, literally the north pole of the Earth, the geocentric north pole of the Earth, not magnetic, moves into a different constellation. So when we're saying the age of Aquarius, that's what that means. It's the Earth's geocentric north pole moving into the constellation of Aquarius, whereas it was for the last 2,000 years or so in the constellation of Pisces. Pisces is the fish. That's why Jesus is associated with the fish. And he said in the Bible, I'll be with you until the end of the age. And then in the next age, look to the house of the water bearer. What's the water bearer? Well, that's Aquarius, right? Which is in a different house. That's why, it's crazy. It's right there in the Bible, and none of the Christians even know what that means, because it was so cryptic. They didn't know to take it out. They didn't know about astrology. They didn't know that was an astrological term that was basically saying, hey, the age of Jesus is the age of Pisces, the age of, and I'll be here with you through that age of Pisces, through the ages, and then at the end of the age, look to the house of the water bearer, and which is Aquarius. The age before Jesus was Aries. That's why the Jews still blow the ram's horn. The age before that was Taurus, which is why Moses told his people to stop worshiping the idol of the bull, because that age was over. We had to let that go. It wasn't because it was bad and sinful. It's just that age was over. It's time to move into a new age, right? Anyway, how did I get off on that topic? Anyway, but if you, I know what it was. So the Vedic, the thing I like about I think the Western astrology is really good for kind of your soul's journey, because it's based on the sun, which is unchanging. It's like kind of the higher level realm of here's your soul's journey, whereas the Vedic chart is really very earthly, and like it has some really good things to help you, tools based on your chart. It gives you tools to help move you through your life more effortlessly. Like based on your chart, it will say what gemstone you should wear, what mantra you should say for your best luck. These kinds of things that are concrete, actionable steps you can take to make your journey a little easier for you. So I'm actually getting certified on that, and I'm gonna start to do Vedic charts. And I don't think it's so important to know all about the chart, but again, it's like having the information of like what mantra to say, what gemstone to wear, those kinds of things. So I found it very useful. All right, so 46, coming apart. Now is the time to take separate paths. The coming apart card is assigned to put an end to what is no longer working for you. Has a commitment been broken? Perhaps you need to break a promise or change course because you took on more than you could handle. This is a perfect time to reassess your goals and values. Are your actions in alignment with what you believe in? Have you created a partnership that is not mutually beneficial? Separation, dissolution, and dispersion are all in focus now. If someone wishes to break away from you, don't chase the relationship out of a sense of fear. The price you'll pay will not be worth the prize. Separation brings good fortune. Yeah, it's so, I find that so interesting, that, the feminine card is all about mixing things together, blending together, and yet here we have the coming apart. And I think that's so true, because as you're blending yourself together, you're going to have to let go of old ways of being. In the last 3 years, I've had to let go of so much of my old life. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on letting go of my old life as a tech executive. And it's hard because there's so much in our world that, so many of my friends they're just like, Dave, what are you doing? Like you're ruining your life. And they're trying to get me into like some really high-end jobs that would, pay like multiple six figures, And it's tough, because there's that part of me that's just like, fuck, money would be good. And yet that life was killing me. That life was literally killing me. And I was miserable and dying. And so now I just got to let that go. And it's been really painful. It's been painful because I haven't been wanting to let it go. I'm a Cancer, and so we have our little claws, and we just hold on to things for dear life. And a crab will literally lose an arm. Will let an arm get pulled off, than to let go. And I feel that because, man, I've been getting arms pulled off for quite a while now. And I'm starting to learn to just let go. To say, yeah, no, I'm done with that. I love who I'm becoming. I love the work that I'm doing. I love that I'm allowing myself to put my best foot forward. It feels really good. And even though there's a lot of people that may not understand it, the reception I get, the reaction I get is just amazing. The people, the new people that are coming into my life as I let my old life go. And again, it's really painful because a lot of the relationships that I had, former friends and coworkers who, not that there's been any falling out, but we just don't sort of travel in the same circles anymore. And letting that go, there's just been a wave of really amazing other people come into my life. And so, letting that go doesn't mean not having anything. It just means you're allowing that to move out of your life so that something that's in a lot more alignment with you can move into your life. And it's scary because you can't see it coming. There's the universe isn't gonna, it's not gonna send you an email with here's all the great stuff coming into your life. And it can't do that because it's waiting on you. It's responding to your actions. And so as you act, so shall you receive. You reap what you sow, right? As you act, the universe sees how you're acting and it responds to you. It says, here you go. And so as you treat yourself better, better things come into your life. As you let go of things that were not in alignment with you and you move towards things that are more in alignment with you, those things come in. And it's just how it works. It's like you can't call your friend unless you actually dial their number. That's how it works. You act and the universe responds. And when you do it often enough, especially with intention, and you pay attention to it, I'm telling you, forget your gratitude journal. Gratitude journals are great. Make your manifesting journal every night. Write down at the end of the day, write down everything you can think of that you manifested. That just something good just came into your life. Or you attempted to get something and you got it. You asked for something and you received. Like, write that down and go back and read over all the things you manifest every day in your life. Even if it's something really simple. Like you don't have enough change and somebody gives you that nickel that you need. Like anything like that. Write it down and you'll start to realize how the universe works. And then it won't be a leap of faith anymore. It will become a belief. Just like we believe that if you step off of a cliff, you will fall. Right? It's a solid. There's no faith about it. It's like, nope, I know that's going to happen, right? And you can't even call it knowledge. So you say, I know that's going to happen. You believe it's going to happen. We don't understand how gravity actually works still. So it's not knowledge, but it is a very strong belief because we see it in action over and over and over again, and we pay attention to it. And so do that with your manifesting journal. Create a manifesting journal. Every night, just write down what you manifested and read it over every week, and you'll just be astounded at how much you manifest. And manifesting can be things that you like and things that you don't like. It just depends on what you put out there, and the universe just listens to your words and your actions. Definitely your words, but your actions mostly. Right? Your words count because your words program you. And through that programming guides your actions. So if you're constantly saying something negative, your actions will reflect that, and that's what you'll get, because the universe listens to your actions. So your words and your actions, put them in alignment with yourself and see what happens. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end here. 35 minutes. I'm still trying to figure out how to make this like more like 20 minutes. I'll get there someday. But until then, have a great week. If you like this, press the like button, subscribe, comment. I would love to see some comments. I always love to see comments. And have a great week, and I'll see you next weekend. Yeah. Take care. Bye.